petition to, first of all, the AIC. That's the Advisory Insurance Committee. You have it, I believe, as a second piece of paper. It's 14, it used to be 15 groups. It incorporates associations and unions, retirees. The problem with this is, the list that you see there is how we get it, an invitation to the meeting. So that the only names, that are on there are Gus and Ann. Nobody else. We have no idea. Now, this here is a petition to go to PEC. Now, I know that the town administrators want to do a unilateral control. But what we have now is each one of those groups receives 1 vote apiece. Gus and I have to split a vote. So, with 300 people, we have 1 vote between us. You could have an administrative group, and they could have 5 on your health program. They get 1 vote. The problem with that is that when we vote, we never know how the outcome has come up. It's taken, and where we're the advisory group, and Greg has said this publicly, he has the authority to throw it away and decide for himself. The retirees have no protection. In fact, and I am saying this not as a personal affront by any means, because I have dealt with the school administrator on negotiations, so I understand. He has to do his job. But he also has told me publicly that he could notify us, give us a 30-day notice, and all retirees would be off insurance. That does not set well with retirees. They're nervous enough with a low pension and trying to survive the best they can. I met with the town administrator several years ago because at that time, the selectmen were putting forth Section 18. And I had some questions to ask. Well, after several months of nagging, I got 6 answers out of 10. I have also come this year to an informed meeting about how the town was going to save. And I asked for the law so that I could have a copy and those people there of Section 18 and 18A. It didn't exist in the town hall. Nowhere did anyone have it. The AIC functions badly, in my opinion. When we meet, we sit in the audience section. We don't even know who's who's representing what. And again, when a vote is taken, we don't know the results. In fact, there was one year that I literally had to fight and ask for a lawyer's opinion when I asked for the results of voting. Because at that time, the vote was, or the choice, were the people going to vote for a 17% increase for retirees and a lower increase for the employees? There were other choices, but I wanted to know how the vote went and how many voted for the 17% increase for retirees. I did get it, but I really had to fight for it. There is apathy in our group, and it's a group that is willing to work. We could definitely have cooperation, and they want to work to save money just as well as you do. For instance, this is another example. I did not make you a copy because I didn't think you needed it, plus I wrote all over mine. But I had gone to all the meetings, and it was with Maya Blue Cross, and they were discussing the co-payments, that they were too low for the employees. And every time I raised my hand and I said, but how is this going to affect the retirees that are on Medicare and Medics? Don't worry, nothing will happen to you. Well, I believed them. Everybody that was the employee got a 2.4 increase, except for those that were on a different plan or the retirees that are on Medicare. And we got a 6.4. Retirees need and deserve to have a voice. There are over 300 of us in North Reading. The reason that I'm suggesting the PEC with nothing else attached to it is that we can form a group that will work together and hopefully cut costs for both you people and for us. It is regulated by the law, and what happens is that the retirees, out of 100 points, get 10%. And then everything else is weighted, so that if you have a group with 5, they're not getting as big a percentage as if you have a group of 200. I hope that what I have said will at least make you think of retirees and what they have to put up with. Right now, there have been several communities that have joined or have formed the PEC this year. And it's Walpole, Westwood, Norfolk County, and Westboro, as far as what I have read. And they did not join the GIC. The last page in what I've given you are some more rationales as to why we need to be protected more and heard more. So I thank you very much. And if you have any questions for me, I would be more than happy to try and answer them.
Mr. Yule.
Yes. Anne, thank you very much. It's very touching. I'm going to guess that through your younger years, raising a family and so on, that you never thought you'd have to be here now
No.
fighting for benefits that you thought you've earned, paid for, and you'd be able to enjoy the golden years.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that you're back to the grind and doing the same things that you've been doing for years and years and years. So I'm very sensitive to that. This is touching to me. I have a lot to learn about it, and I would like to learn more about what you're doing and so on. But it's eye-opening. It should be eye-opening for all of us. Because I think what happens in the public sector is that government, in general, has a tendency to become short-sighted and wear blinders and forget completely about what the real needs are out there, not only with seniors, but with youths and other people. So I look forward to developing a dialogue with you and going forward and finding out what we can to
Thank
do
you.
whatever we have to do. I don't even know the answers, to be honest with you, but
I don't either, and I would be more than happy to work with all of you or any of you. Just one more thing before I leave, only because you pointed it out. I worked in the school system, and we had a custodian. He's in his 90s, and he has a wife in her 90s who has Alzheimer's. I don't even know, I'm assuming that he might not be on Medicare. He might be on another plan. So, all I'm saying is, when you crunch your figures, and I understand that there are human beings behind us as well as the employees, and very sad cases, I think. So,
Ian, I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand your point. Under the
see,
PEC, and this was discussed back when we were talking about the GIC, because under the GIC, the town has to adopt PIC, right? As I recall, that's the same chapter that would have to be adopted as part of joining the GIC. It was a requirement, as I recall. So what I'm trying to understand is, I understand your request, because what you're trying to do is get more voting power for the retirees associated with the insurance committee, advisory committee. I'm not sure if you're making a case for a position regarding Chapter 18 or not.
no.
You're not.
I'm here tonight saying that the PEC certainly could help us.
Okay.
If you're asking me about Chapter 18,
Yes.
I will see you at town meeting.
Okay. I didn't know if you were trying to tie
No.
that in or not. Yeah. Mr. Belkonis, you were gonna say something?
The only thing I would say is that I think something like this, in the past, council has advised the board not to proceed with adoption of Section 19. I would suggest that since it's a legal question, you might want to consult with council, get council's recommendation, and then consider the request after you've heard from council and had a chance to weigh his opinion.
Well, I don't think she was asking us for making any decision tonight.
No.
She wanted us to take it under advisement, which we will do.
That's my suggested next step.
Any other questions?
I just have a
Mr.
comment.
O'Leary.
And we've had lots of conversations over the years, and you're one of the more well-versed people I've met
Thank you.
over the years. And again, your presentation is very thoughtful, and I think it's eye-opening for a lot of people and members of the board in relation to the effects of some of the decisions that this board may make, the administration will make, not just in the past, but going forward. And as we talk about going into the GIC and other healthcare plans, I reluctantly didn't support recently a position to advocate that the legislature go ahead and make some municipal, as part of the municipal relief bill. I didn't necessarily support the whole package. And one of the reasons was I believe that the retirees and collective bargaining units do need a seat at the table, because it has such a significant impact on the households and the employees who have worked for us and the ones who currently work for us. So I certainly appreciate the presentation that you've made. I'm certainly sensitive to the issues that surround the whole thing. And I'm surprised you're not taking a position on Section 18.
Not tonight.
Not tonight, but if you,
I
can
would
probably guess
ask,
what it's going with.
I would ask my board members to pass this cover sheet back and give it
Yeah.
back to,
Yeah.
I crossed out my,
I know, but I still
Okay.
feel better if,
okay.
the interesting part on this was that in relation to this particular bill that you gave us, you were maybe responsible for 24.7% of the charges associated with the healthcare that was provided, if you did that little math, so you see a little scratch on there. But basically, the retiree, in addition to co-pays or whatever else comes up, may be responsible for, in this particular instance, to almost 25%